Welcome to the Beauty Business Playbook, the podcast for beauty, wellness, and aesthetic professionals who are ready to elevate their mindset, refine their systems, and step confidently into their CEO era. I'm your host, Jess Feldman, spa owner, consultant, and your guide to building a profitable, aligned, and standout business. Let's dive into today's episode. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. My name is Jess. I have 12 years experience in the beauty industry, 6 years specifically in medical aesthetics and wellness practices. And today I am answering your questions about how to grow your business. Okay, question number 1. I'm fully booked, but still not making the money I want. What am I missing? I feel like all of these are going to be loaded questions, and I could go on and on about them for forever, but there are a lot of things that can be happening here. You should be looking at your internal systems as well as your pricing structure, making sure that whatever room, if you are solo and you only have one studio, that is constantly making you enough money per hour that you are in it to be able to cover things like rent and all your overhead for your products. If you are a multi-room clinic or facility, you should be making sure that each room or chair is making enough money. There are so many ways that you can do this, and there are so many helpful tools online. I recommend putting everything into a spreadsheet and going through your profit margins for every single service that you offer. And when I say go through your profit margins, I mean really get in there. I want you to list out the cost of your services down to the cent, down to all of the detail, because that is what is going to give you an answer at the end of the day. Having a full calendar should mean that you are profitable. And if you aren't, then maybe take a look at the kind of clients you're attracting. If that might be discount clients and you're actually not making profit on any of those services, then that's something that we definitely have to work on and maybe scale back a bit on the discounts. And just make sure that every service you deliver is a profitable service. Okay, question number 2 is actually such a good one, especially going into the new year. So, how do I raise my prices without losing clients? This is something that we all should be considering going into the new year. If we look at our profit margins right now and for 2025, should we be raising prices? Here's the thing. Anytime that you have any sort of significant price increase, there's a chance that a few clients are going to drop off. That's just something that's going to kind of come with that territory. But the clients that truly see your value will stick with you. If you are doing a substantial price increase, I would absolutely let your clients know ahead of time. Give them a few weeks or a month even heads up and offer them an incentive to enroll. Maybe it's in a membership or to purchase a package where they can lock in the current pricing before the price goes up. This gives you more opportunity to be able to build trust with them so that by the time the pricing does increase, they hopefully will have more trust with you and are more likely to continue rebooking even at the higher rate. Okay, this one cracks me up because I totally get it and I feel the same way. This question is, I hate social media. Do I really need it to be successful? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. If you do not have a social media account, whether that's at least one of the core social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, something, you are missing out on a huge opportunity. And if you aren't running it in a way that is attracting aligned clients, then you can be missing out on so many opportunities. And the biggest thing with social media right now is education and showing your face. So your content should have an education focus for a lot of it. Now, I'm not saying all of it. You want to mix it up. You can still, do the funny videos, show your personality, show behind the scenes, results, all of that. But Focusing on how to educate a client through social media is what is taking over right now. That is going to amplify your success because it shows that you are an expert in what it is that you are trying to essentially sell. Okay, and then showing your face and becoming the personality, you are your brand, especially if you are solo, but you are your brand. And when you become comfortable with showing yourself on social media, you're going to gain trust of clients before they even walk through your door. That means that you can pre-sell people before they've even met you. So yes, please have a social media account and take care of it. I know that it's hard. I know it's time consuming. I know it can be frustrating and can feel like so much work when all you want to do is treat clients and do hair and lashes and brows and injectables and all the things. But at the end of the day, we are living in a world where this is extremely necessary. But also, to look at it in a positive light, there's so much opportunity and there's community connections that can be made. It's just a world of access that you have right at your fingertips. So take a little bit of time when you're watching, TV at night and just get on there, connect, engage, and build support and trust through social media. Okay, our next question. I feel like everyone around me is doing the same thing. How do I stand out? This, again, I actually am recording an episode. It is 10 things to set you apart. And so we'll do kind of a deep dive in that episode. But there are so many things that can set you apart. And I want to bring it back to a core belief that I have, which is that most people will not take action. That alone will set you apart. The fact that you're engaging right now in online education, trying to advance your knowledge and your power is already huge. Listening to a podcast every day, I have a rule for myself. You'll probably hear me talk about it in other episodes as well. But when I'm on my way to work, when I'm leaving the house for the day in the morning, I have to be listening to a podcast that's either growth mindset or industry focused. Then on my way home, that's when I can listen to music. But I start my day education forward. Connect with your community. Most people are going to get comfortable in their studio or space and not go out and engage and make connections. Go to the meetings. I know it can be awkward to go to Chamber of Commerce meetings or networking meetings. Get out there, do it, spread your name, spread the word, make connections. It only takes one person that might be the best connection of your life, and you don't want to miss that opportunity. So engage, take action. That is the biggest thing. And of course, there are several other little things that we can talk about. And again, we'll do a deep dive on an episode where I go over 10 things that you can immediately implement to change the game. That would be your branding, your messaging, your consultations, your protocols, your systems. There are so many things that we can discuss on that episode, but the biggest thing is, are you taking action? All right, let's move on to the next question. Now we're getting into numbers. I feel overwhelmed every time I think about my numbers, so I avoid them. How do I start understanding my finances without feeling anxious or stupid? This is such a good question. I actually created a little financial worksheet that will be linked in the show notes. This is just an introduction to get you somewhat comfortable with your numbers. There is a way more hardcore kind of sheet that I have as well. If you want to book a one-on-one strategy call and go over the finances in depth, we can work through that worksheet. But you have to start somewhere. And if you're already feeling overwhelmed, just take it back to the basics, start there so that you can get comfortable just looking at numbers. You want to start building that habit. I recommend to do at least a quarterly check. If you're not doing a quarterly check, start there. but you really should be doing a monthly check. And then I just do every 2 weeks, I'll do like a quick little audit of numbers, but absolutely monthly, quarterly, if monthly is too much for you right now, but you shouldn't be waiting to look at your numbers every year. And less than that is just absolutely crazy. Know what your profit margins are for every single service that you offer. Understand your marketing spend and your return on investment. And just know that acknowledging the numbers isn't scary. It actually tells you what you should be doing, what you could be doing differently, and how to elevate your business and become a better leader, become more successful. So don't be scared of them. They actually tell you what you need to know. All right, our last question for today. My market feels extremely saturated, and sometimes it feels pointless to even post online. How do I position myself so I don't feel like I'm just another option? This is where branding really comes into play. Your mission, your values, understanding who your ideal client is, and really speaking to an individual and not a large group of people. That is what is going to attract clients who are aligned with your business. Of course, there are so many options for people to go, especially, I don't know, it depends on the area. I live in Southern California, and there's, for example, one strip mall up the street from me that last time I checked had 12 med spas just in that corner of the street. So I understand when you feel like the market is oversaturated and there are constantly new spots opening up. It feels like almost every week, and I understand how that can feel. However, your story is what people resonate with. Your education and positioning yourself as the expert is what is going to gain trust. So be authentic. Know your branding, your mission, your values, what it is that you want to stand for, who it is that you want to speak to. And when you truly speak to those things, the people will find you. Your clients who are going to respect your policies, who are going to book more than one appointment, respect your pricing, understand the value that you're giving them, they will automatically attract to your business. They will choose you over all the other spots. If this is a place where you feel stuck, this is literally the number one thing in your foundation of your business. So if you haven't developed this, if you don't feel secure in who your messaging should be for, all of your decisions from here on out, your marketing, your business decisions, what treatments to invest in next, whatever it might be, all of those decisions are going to become reactive and not be strategic. So if that is something that you haven't uncovered yet and maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck, please reach out to me, book a one-on-one, let's work through it, and let's get you exactly to where you can position your messaging to attract the right clientele. That's it for today's episode. If you have any questions that you want featured on the next episode where we do a Q&A, please send me an email. It will be linked in the show notes. And of course, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to send me a message on any of the socials linked in the show notes as well.